Hello students, today we will be starting with your next chapter, that is unit 3, that is capital structure theories. Okay, we've been done with your first two chapters in your advanced financial management, and today we will be beginning with your third chapter, unit 3, that is capital structure theories. So to begin with, we will be starting off with the introduction. Now, what is capital structure? Now, capital structure is nothing but it is the capital of the company. Now, capital structure is just showing as to what is the mix, okay, through which you are generating the capital of the company. How are you generating the capital of the company, and how are you structuring the capital of the company? So basically, capital structure is the mix of company's long-term debt, specific short-term debt. Okay, it is a mixture of long-term, short-term debt, equity and preference equity. Okay, long-term, short-term and preference and equity. Okay, it is a combination of all of this. Your capital structure is a combination of long-term, short-term, equity and preference equity. The capital structure is how a firm finances its overall operations. Now, as you all know, for an organization to run, capital is the most important element of the organization. Without adequate finance, you will not be able to function in a particular you will not be able to function the organization effectively. So you will have to collect and generate necessary amount of funds in order to carry out your proper functioning, that is day-to-day operations of the company, right? So you will be calling out for shareholders in order to come and invest in the shares of the company, and all of this. You will be raising finance. So how are you doing this is basically how you're using your long term, your short term, how are you generating your equity, preference shares, etc. Okay, so a company's proportion of short term and long term debt is considered when analyzing the capital structure. Okay, when people refer to capital structure, they are most likely referring to a firm's debt to equity ratio. Okay, it is the debt, okay, it is the debt to equity ratio. Okay, it is in this form of ratio, which provides insight to how risky the company is. Usually a company more heavily financed by debt possesses greater risk, as the firm is relatively highly levered. Now, if you notice, you studied your risk in your first chapter as well, right? As to how the company faces a huge amount of risk when they raise debt to equity ratio, and what is the amount of risk which is involved. So even while you're raising capital for a particular company, you are taking necessary amount of risk also, because you will have to repay back to the shareholders and the people who are contributing towards the capital of the company. The capital structure of the company refers to how and where a company raises the finance. Okay, how the company is raising finance and from where the company is raising finance. Now, there are only two ways that the company can raise the finance. It can raise funds from its owners. Okay, firstly, it can raise funds from its owners, that is through equity funds, or it can borrow from myriad of sources of debt. Now, either it can raise from funds from the owners directly, or they can borrow debts. Okay, now the company has an option to either raise it from the owners or to raise it from the second sources, or it also has an option to raise it from both the sources. Okay, it can also raise from the combination from both the sources. Now, capital structure of the company depends. Okay, now if you want a capital for long term or short term, it depends on the company as to how they want to raise it. Okay, now capital structure can also be defined as the judicious use of different long-term sources of financing, such that overall cost of the capital of the firm does not increase and remains minimum and constant, thereby maximizing the value of the firm. Now, you should raise capital of the firm in such a way that you are paying necessary interest also to the people who are giving you capital, and also you're maximizing return for the company, you're maximizing your profit as well. In this way, you need to raise your capital of the firm, and you need to structure your capital. That is known as capital structure. Now, next, let's move on to the next topic, that is meaning of capital structure. Now, in your meaning of capital structure, capital structure is basically the composition of long-term liabilities, specific short-term liabilities like bank notes, common equity, preferred equity, which make up funds with which business finances operation and its growth. The capital structure of business firm is essentially the right side of its balance sheet. Okay, if you all notice, while preparing the balance sheet, all of your earnings and equities come on towards the right side, right? So capital structure is basically showing you as to what is the composition, how are you raising your funds, as you looked into the introduction part earlier. What are your long-term finances, what are your short-term finances, and you have your various short-term finances, like you have your you have your commercial bills, you have your bill of trading, you have your common equity, you have your preference equity. So through this, how you're raising your capital. Now, you also have a definition of capital structure. Now, as per your definition, it is your choice as to which definition you want to consider. there are two definitions. So the capital structure of business can be measured by ratio of various kinds of permanent loan and equity capital to the total capital. Okay, you're taking into consideration your debt to equity ratio, that is, you're taking what is the permanent loan and what is the equity capital towards your total capital. Now suppose your total capital that you've raised is rupees 1 crore or something like that, so you are checking the ratio of it, based on which ratio you have raised the finance of the organization in order to form your capital structure. Now your next topic, you have features of capital structure. In your features of capital structure, the capital structure will allow you for maximum possible use of leverage. Okay, you have you know as to how much capital you have, you know as to for what operation how much amount of money you can use, and how effectively you can use the amount of money which is been raised. Okay, it also involves minimum risk. Okay, minimum risk of loss of control. Okay, you have proper control on the capital that you've raised, so it will lead you to minimum risk. You will not have maximum or a lot of risk, you will have minimum risk, which is possible. It also helps you to avoid undue restrictions in the agreement of debt. Okay, it also helps you in avoiding undue financial risk and increase of debt. Okay, basically when you are aware of the capital structure of your company, when you know as to how much amount of capital is required by the company, you will know as to how much money you need to use for your day-to-day operation and how you need to raise your finance, right? So through this you will avoid your financial risk, and also you will not have to take a lot of loans etc for carrying out your day-to-day operations or to form your capital structure. Now it also takes care of the use of debt within the capacity of the firm. It will also take into consideration what is the capacity of the firm and how you can effectively use the money. Okay, the firm should be in a position to meet its obligation in paying the loan. Okay, you have to make sure that the firm is in such a position that whatever amount you've taken, you have to repay it back, and the interest charges. Now on loan there will be certain amount of interest which will be charged. Okay, so you should generate enough amount of profits in order to repay back the loan, and also to repay back the interest which is due on that particular amount which was given to you as a loan. Okay, so that was the features of capital structure. Now next you have significance of capital structure. Now in your significance of capital structure you have three importances: significance or importance. Okay, significance or importance. Now firstly, capital structure helps you to reduce the overall risk of the company. Now why is capital structure helping you to reduce the overall risk of the company? Because you are structuring your capital. You know from where you are generating the money, you know from where you are raising the money, you know who is giving you the money and how, through what means you're giving the money. Okay, so you know the structure of the capital, how you're raising, whether you're raising through long term, short term, okay, whatever combination you're raising in. And based on this, you will also this will also help you to reduce the overall risk, because the risk will be very less when you know as to how you're raising your capital for the particular company in order to generate higher returns and higher profits. Next is to assist to the adjustment according to the business environment. Now as you all know, business environment is subjected to a lot of internal factors as well as external factors. Your internal factors are something which is related to the company, which could be your employees, the working environment of the organization, your technology, and etc. You have your various external factors also, that is through the government. You have your environmental factors, you have your political, social, legal factors, all of this which will affect the working of the organization. So you need to have a capital structure which is very flexible enough in order to adapt to the changing business environment. Okay, so and also you need to check what is the tax rate of the government, what is the loan, what is the interest that you need to pay on the loans if you're borrowing it from banks. All of this need to be taken into consideration effectively, and based on which you need to structure your capital in such a way that is very flexible in order to manage with the business environment. In case if there are any changes also, your capital structure should be very flexible in order to manage the changes. Okay, next is helps for new idea generation of new source of fund. Now when you have enough amount of capital, you will know as to how you need to expand your business, whether you want to introduce a new product for your company, how you need to provide with the training and development. You will have enough amount of money in order to provide training and development, how you need to carry out advertising of the particular company, who will be your promoters, investors, and all of that. And also it will enable the employees. So See, when you have proper capital structure, you will be able to carry out your day-to-day operations effectively, plus you will be able to pay employees on time. Now, when you're paying employees on time, you will help to retain those particular employees in the organization. Those employees will be very loyal to your organization, and they will be smart enough in order to generate ideas and also new sources of funds. They will help you in generating new sources of funds. That is, suppose if you're only going for one type of funds, you're generating from one particular source, you will be able to generate new ideas as to how you can generate from other sources also. Okay, so this was your significance of capital structure. Now next is the need for capital structure. Why do you need a capital structure? Now see, any organization, whether it is a large organization or small organization, they will require a certain amount of capital in order to carry out its day-to-day operations. Without capital, you will not be able to even function with an organization. You require a capital structure in order to meet both your internal needs as well as your external needs. Okay, see, internal needs as well as your external needs. Your internal needs could be payment of your employees in order to purchase latest technology, to provide training and development. Okay, your external needs also could be like payment of taxes, interest on loans, all of this. So you require necessary amount of capital. Firstly is for your long-term debt. Now in your long-term debt, is usually for a period of 12 months, right? It is usually for a period of 12 months. Now in this particular 12 months, you will have necessary obligations and necessary interest charges which you should be able to pay in the capacity. You should be able to repay the loan amount as well as the interest which is due on this particular amount through long-term debt. It could be your mortgage issues, it could be your lease issues, etc. Okay, next is your preferred stock. Now preferred stock is nothing but the ownership. Okay, it basically represents your equity ownership interest in the corporation. Okay, but here the common stock is basically, here you do not have any rights to the shareholder, but it is just increasing the worth of the company. It is basically your assets of the company and how you're increasing your worth of the company. Okay, next is common stockholders equity. Common stockholders equity is basically either it could be nominal par or stated value which is assigned, okay, based on the ownership which you have on the particular capital. Okay, firstly the nominal par or stated value assigned to the shares of an outstanding stock. Second is the capital surplus or the amount above par value paid by the company whenever the stock is issued. The earned surplus is nothing but the amount of money which is invested in the form of capital, based on which how much amount of profit you are generating. Okay, based on this you will have to pay your you should check your what is the total amount of liabilities, what is the total amount of assets, and how your company is functioning, and what is the amount of debt which the company has to pay, and what is the amount of profit that the company has. Also along with that, you need to also check for the market price of your share. Okay, how you've what is the market price or the market value of your share of the company, and what is the market share of the company, whether the company is growing, whether the company has a lot of competitors. All of this has to be taken into consideration under your common stockholders equity. Okay, next is your nature of capital structure. Now under your nature of capital structure, you need to understand what kind of company are you running, what is the nature of the company, what is the size of the business that you are running, and based on which how you're raising the fund, whether you're raising from long-term sources or short-term sources, or from the owners of the firm or from the third parties. Okay, based on which you will see as to how much amount of money you are raising as loans for the particular company in order to form your capital structure. Now based on this, if you are raising more number of debt, you will have to pay a lot of amount as interest to the creditors. So you need to manage in such a way that you are avoiding risk, and you are also maintaining effective relationship between the capital structure and the value of the company. Okay, your capital structure should be in such a way wherein you are enhancing the value and the goodwill of the company. You're increasing the reputation of the company, okay, by carrying out your day-to-day operation, by making payments to the employees on daily basis, by paying the shareholders, the equity holders, the preference shareholders, the creditors, everyone on time. Okay, and also generate necessary amount of profits for the particular company. Now also you need to check for your internal factors as well as external factors which are affecting the company's working condition and the capital structure. You need to examine all of these factors thoroughly, and also analyze your financial position, and also prepare a particular budget for your capital also. Okay, so you need to also thorough analysis for the capital relevant examination of the relevant factors, and you should also examine your marketplace, wherein you need to see what is the market size and what is the market share of the company, whether the company is doing well in the market, whether the all the prices have been set for the shares effectively, but who are the competitors and what are the market position. Nextly, you will also have to check for the business cycle, that is introduction, boom, recession, all of these phases of the particular business, in order to see that your business, your capital structure is flexible enough to go through all of these stages. The company should also be able to repay debt. Volatile economic climate, that is the economic climate keeps changing based on the internal factors and external factors, so it becomes very difficult to predict your cash flows during this particular time. So you will have to have identical debt to equity ratios also on this particular basis. Okay, you need to also make sure that the company is not struggling with the interest payments and finance executive. So the people who are in charge of this particular thing, those are basically people who are finance executives. They should make sure that they have enough amount of capital, enough amount of money in order to make interest payments also for the amount which is borrowed. Okay, the company should not come down to a position where they are struggling. For example, companies that are exposed to significant commodity risk with large price swings might have less predictable cash flows. Okay, the more volatile and uncertain a company's cash flows, the more uncertain there is regarding its ability to meet interest and principal repayment obligations. Companies with extremely unpredictable cash flows are usually assumed that less debt is advisable. Okay, now in particular, there will be various companies wherein you will be able to predict the cash flows, okay, based on the various projects you are taking into consideration. We've also looked into this particular topic in your first chapter as to how the company goes through risk based on the kind of projects you select and based on the kind of companies you are signing your contracts with and how you are raising your funds. Your cash flows also determine a lot whether how you're generating profits or you are going through any sort of loss or risk. Okay, you need to have any company, be it as a company which is newly started or a company which has been existing for years, you should have positive cash flows. Okay, and you need to make sure that whatever amount you've invested is generating necessary amount of profits in order to make sure your company is functioning effectively, to enhance its goodwill and also to survive in the market. So this is with the nature of capital structure. Now next is your advantages of capital structure. Now under your advantages of capital structure, firstly it is amplifies return on equity. Now return on equity is basically, it is your return on equity basically measures the performance of the business, how good your business is performing. Okay, this will be generated only through how your return on equity is. Okay, now your turnover should be very much greater when compared to the investment. Okay, now also this will help you in determining the worth and the potential of the company, that is you need to have greater return on the equity. Next is greater control and flexibility. Greater control and flexibility is nothing but you need to have control on your finance as to how you're raising finance and how you are distributing it and how you're taking into consideration your various operation, as to how you're carrying out your day-to-day operation, and also your capital structure should be very flexible enough in order to get in order to adjust with the changing factors of the economy. Next one is framework for negotiation. Negotiation is nothing but how you come up with new ideas, generate new ideas. You're coming up with various funds in order to sources to raise capital. Okay, you need to have a very organized way in order to raise capital, and you need to also make sure that your creditors and your debtors are paid on time, and whatever the amount of debt is raised is used in an appropriate manner. Okay, and you need to know and you need to simplify the problem, and you need to reduce the complexities of the particular problem. Next is your equity advantages. Now equity advantages is nothing but, as we looked into earlier, which is through which that is your return on equity is showing as to how effectively your organization is working. Your capital structure also provides flexibility of raising funds. Okay, you should have enough flexibility of raising funds, that is you need to have you need to make sure that you have enough amount of funds which are available for you, that is you have your future cash flows, how you've invested in various projects, and how is the future cash flow of that particular project, whether it is generating profits, okay, whether you have a guarantee payback from that particular period project or not. Okay, Now, next one is you have your disadvantages of the capital structure. Disadvantage is nothing but investor expectation. Suppose as investors we are investing even rupees 100. Now we will have an expectation of 200 rupees as our return. But this is not the case because your returns are truly affected by the external and the internal factors of the organization or of the environment. Okay, so you do not have a guaranteed return. That suppose even if you're investing rupees 5, you do not have a return on that particular investment. So investors expectation is basically based on returns, but you do not have a guaranteed return. Okay, in return is very uncertain. Next is business form requirements. Business form requirements is nothing but how you will the investors will have certain amount of right on the particular business, that is your equity shareholders, your preference shareholders. Okay, they will also be called for the board meetings, they will also take part in the various meetings. But usually most of the companies will not give certain amount of requirements to the particular companies. They will say that they have the right to do so, but most of the companies do not involve them while taking decisions. Next is you have financial returns distribution. Now financial return distribution is wherein the equity shareholders are paid first, the preference shareholders are paid, okay, based on the debenture holders and everything. So based on how you've invested in a particular company, based on the amount of profits that are generated, the profits are returned to the returned and distributed to the investors. Okay, the investors net return is equal to the net proceeds of the sale less the cash they invested in the business. Okay, less the amount of cash that they have invested in the particular business.